What did the teacher in your high school get fired for? It all started with Coach Miller, a man revered for his dedication, talent, and integrity. For nearly a decade, he led the girls' basketball team at Westbrook High School. The girls loved him, the parents respected him, and the school administrators valued the glory his state championship wins brought to the school. Tall and imposing, but with a gentle demeanor, Coach Miller seemed invincible. He was the kind of coach that made each player feel important, even if they never set foot on the court during a game. His mentorship went beyond basketball. He was a life coach to many of the girls. The community of Westbrook, a tight-knit small town, saw Coach Miller as a beacon of hope. For the girls' basketball program, he was a living legend. Every season was filled with anticipation, a chance to make it to state finals, a chance to hoist a championship trophy. Year after year, his teams thrived, winning multiple state titles and developing star players who went on to play in college. Parents admired him for instilling discipline, while his players looked up to him as a father figure. But behind the success was a man carrying the weight of his team, always making sure every detail was handled, every girl was cared for, and every parent was satisfied. Despite the immense pressure, Coach Miller loved what he did, though he often felt the heavy burden of being a role model, not just a coach. That year, the Westbrook Wildcats were off to another incredible start. They had won every game of the season and were headed out of state for one of the toughest matchups yet, a game against a highly ranked team. Everyone was buzzing with excitement. Parents, students, teachers, as the Wildcats boarded the bus for the 5-hour trip. Coach Miller meticulously prepared for the trip, ensuring everything was in order. Travel arrangements, hotel bookings, meals, and most importantly, his players' well-being. The girls were thrilled, the mood light, with everyone singing along to songs during the ride. Little did anyone know, this trip would forever change Coach Miller's life. Arriving at the hotel late that night, the team was tired but excited. The girls checked into their rooms while Coach Miller, exhausted from the drive and planning, was looking forward to a night of rest before the big game. Around midnight, Coach Miller heard a soft knock on his door. Groggy from sleep, he shuffled to the door, only to find 2 of his players standing there, visibly upset. Lisa and Emily, 2 key members of the team, looked distressed. "Coach, we're really sorry to bother you," Lisa said, her voice trembling. "We just can't stay in our room anymore. We're not getting along with our roommates, and it's causing a lot of tension. We've tried to sort it out, but it's not working." Emily added, "We just need a quiet place to sleep. Is there any chance we could get another room?" Coach Miller, ever the problem solver, immediately went with the girls to the hotel lobby. He approached the front desk, hoping to secure a new room for them. But the hotel was fully booked for the night. "Sorry, Coach," the front desk attendant said apologetically. "There are no extra rooms. We're completely full." For a moment, Coach Miller was at a loss. He couldn't let the girls go back to their room, where the tension would likely disturb their rest and affect their performance in the game. Then, an idea came to him. He could give up his own room. "I'll have housekeeping clean my room, and you 2 can stay there for the night," Coach Miller said kindly. "I'll take my luggage and sleep on one of the couches in the lobby. It's not ideal, but it'll give you both the space you need." The girls were grateful and agreed to the arrangement. Coach Miller retrieved his belongings, handed them the key to his room, and settled into a nearby couch, hoping to catch a few hours of sleep before the big game. The next morning, the Wildcats won the game, and everyone was riding high on the victory. But by the time the team got back on the bus to head home, the whispers had already begun. "Did you hear about Coach letting Lisa and Emily stay in his room last night?" one girl mentioned to another in the back of the bus. "Wait, what?" "He gave them his room," another chimed in, eyebrows raised. Rumors spread like wildfire, twisting and exaggerating the truth with each retelling. What had been a simple act of kindness was quickly blown out of proportion. By the time the bus rolled back into Westbrook, stories were swirling about Coach Miller sharing a room with his players. Parents, already sensitive about their teenage daughters traveling with a male coach, began to hear distorted versions of the event. The narrative became more salacious with each conversation. Suddenly, people were speculating, questioning Coach Miller's intentions. The next day, the phone calls began. Concerned parents demanded explanations, meetings, and assurances. At first, Coach Miller didn't understand the severity of the situation. He had done nothing wrong. The girls were safe, and he had slept in the lobby away from them. But the rumors were relentless, and the court of public opinion was swift. By the end of the week, the school was receiving complaints. Parents were calling for Coach Miller to be fired, accusing him of crossing boundaries and making inappropriate decisions. The pressure on the administration was mounting. Coach Miller, sensing the growing tension, was heartbroken. His years of dedication, the championships, the relationships he'd built, all seemed to be unraveling because of one innocent night. He realized that no matter what he said, people had already made up their minds. One afternoon, Coach Miller was called into a meeting with the school principal and the district superintendent. They explained the situation. The accusations were unfounded, but the perception was damaging. The board wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but the growing public outrage was difficult to ignore. "It might be best," the principal said gently, "if you step down from coaching, at least temporarily. This will give people time to calm down." Coach Miller was devastated but understood. Rather than fight the rumors and drag his beloved team through more controversy, he decided to resign as head coach. He would continue teaching his regular classes but would no longer be on the sidelines guiding the girls he had mentored for years. In the weeks that followed, the truth slowly emerged. Lisa and Emily, along with other members of the team, defended Coach Miller's actions. They explained how he had given up his own room to make sure they were comfortable, how he had slept on a couch in the lobby, and how nothing inappropriate had happened. As more people learned the real story, the tide began to turn. Parents who had initially demanded his resignation realized they had overreacted. The principal and the school board approached Coach Miller, asking him to return as head coach. They apologized for how things had spiraled out of control. But Coach Miller, though grateful for their support, declined the offer. The entire ordeal had left him disillusioned. He had acted with the best intentions, yet he had been vilified and humiliated. The love he once had for coaching was tainted by the bitter experience. Life at Westbrook High School continued, but it wasn't the same without Coach Miller. The basketball team, once dominant, struggled under new leadership. The girls missed their mentor, the man who had shaped their lives and taught them not just about basketball, but about life. Coach Miller, now teaching full-time, quietly moved on. He never coached basketball again, but his legacy lingered. Years later, former players would reach out to thank him for his guidance and support, reminding him that despite the controversy, he had made a lasting impact on their lives. But the memory of that fateful trip still haunted him, a reminder of how quickly things could spiral out of control and how even the best intentions could lead to unexpected consequences.